Hello, Shane at DIY Retro Arcade. I wanted to show you the components of our new 12-volt LED kits that we're selling now. Much simpler than the 5-volt ones. You don't have to use the conversion board, so these are pretty much straightforward, being that the Arcade1Up and most of all your other arcade machines are all 12 volt to start with, so we basically went to a 12-volt button. Let me show you the actual button now. Before they had paint markings on them to show you where the positive and the negative was. Now we have physically had our buttons marked. I don't know if you can see this in here, but let me show you. On these buttons, the way it works is you have one on the outside that's actually into the colored plastic. These outside ones are your power. This is where it needs to hook in for the LED function. And then right here in the center that connects to this gray piece, the terminals that come out of here are your actual function. This is what will hook to your encoder board. It doesn't matter if you hook your black or your red on which on the actual function. It doesn't matter. On your power it does. If you'll look right here, like I said again, I don't know if you can see in here, but you'll see a plus right here and you'll see a minus right here, and there's an arrow. There's a plus here with an arrow up that points towards this. This is your hot. Here's a negative sign with an arrow pointing straight up. This is your negative ground. To hook these things up, it's very, very simple. You take this portion of your kit for the LED function, and here's your negative side with the arrow pointing up. Simply plug that into that, and then take one of the reds and plug into the opposite side. And then slide your protective covers down. Usually you need to start at the end of the daisy chain, of course, and space them out the way they should be. I'm just doing this for the short little video. But once you have that hooked in, the next component you'll do is the actual, here's the end of the LED harness. You'll want to plug in your splitter into that, and this will be your 12-volt power source. I got it way over here. And then once you plug it in, your button will light up. The downside with wiring it like this on, say, like a machine like the Arcade1Up, is if the power that you hook into, if there's no switch actually on the power, then the buttons will always stay on. That is one downside. So we did make a little inline kit that we sell as an option. It's this little power switch right here, and what this does is it plugs in line in this whole little setup. To add this into your existing setup, it'll work on any of the 5 volts to 12 volts. It'll work on any of our kits. It'll work with the marquee kits. It doesn't matter, it works for all of them. But what you'll do is, instead of going from the LED harness to the splitter, usually what we do is we'll take this, we'll plug the inline switch in, and then plug the splitter into it, and then plug this into your main power supply. And then what this does is it gives you a toggle switch that you can mount. It takes a 1/4 inch hole is what you need to drill, but you can basically turn it on and off at that point. That way, if you don't want to turn the main power off on the machine, you can just do it through the toggle switch.